Howdy, this is Robert with Daily Woodworks, and today I want to show my little router table I've been working on. This little router table has been kind of a work in progress for a few months. I just kind of keep adding to it as I can. Very simple, just basically a frameless cabinet with some dividers to section it off and a couple of drawers. The top is one of these Rockler Phenolic tops. I ended up getting the top, the router plate, the router, and it came with a metal frame used from a friend of mine on Instagram. And I didn't like the metal frame it came with just because those metal tool stands work, but they're never purpose built to what you need. And so maybe this will help you get ideas for your router table. And if you have suggestions for improvements, I am all ears on how I can just make this thing better, even if it's tear it apart and start over. So let's start at the bottom and let me kind of give you the rundown. I like everything in my shop to be the same height. So this workbench and this end up being the same height. I like these full locking casters. These are cheap on Amazon, and they hold up remarkably well for the price. I haven't had any of these fail yet, and I've got them here, there, and again I have a few other brands as well. I think those came from Lowe's or Home Depot. But these 4-inch casters are exactly 5 inches tall, which makes your math easy to get to 34.5, which is an 1/8 of an inch under what my table saw is, which I like that for an outfeed. So anyway, I bought this from a friend. It came with this very nice Incra lift. It looks very similar to the Jessam. It has these metallic inserts for different sizes. You can micro adjust and lock it into place. It has leveling nuts all the way around it, and then of course you can screw it down to this top. You don't have to use this plate, but so far I absolutely love it, and based on what I paid for the whole setup, almost the router plate and the table alone, or the router lift and the table alone, made it worth what I paid for that used. So going down, it came with this little switch to turn it on and off. So I mounted it here, and then I can just plug it in here on the side. And then for the router, it came with a nice Bora 3-4 horsepower router, but eventually it quit working on me. I do use it a fair amount. And so I replaced it with one of those Skill 14 amp plunge fixed base routers. I think you can get them on Amazon. I got mine from Lowe's, I think. And for the $150 that router costs, it is a fantastic router. In fact, I have 2 of them. Mine ended up getting more. You can see I just used some leftover white oak plywood and some hinges to make a door to do that my air seal. You can see my cord runs up over and out to this guy right here, and then I plug it in, and that works pretty well as my air seal for my dust collection. Then if we keep working down, I've got a shallow drawer that I keep, just basically cheapy bits in. And I think I did a video on this several years ago, but I'm going to say this again. If you're just getting into woodworking and making things, one of those, this was like a 70-piece router bit set for $150, so $2 a bit from Amazon. And are they the best bits on the market? Absolutely not. But are they shockingly good for what they are? Yes. And what I've done is, as I wear them out, I'll go replace them with a $20, $30 bit to expand the collection. But then there's some of these that I've never used, or I've used once or twice for something incredibly specialty, and it gives me a huge variety that I rarely use. Over here on the left side, I installed some full extension slides and then a scrap piece of plywood. These metal brackets came on the metal stand that originally came with that, and they hold bits, and I liked how they held bits. So you can see I just attached them here, And I've got a collection of various router bits for different purposes on this side. And those are just soft close slides. This side I did the same thing. I did have to mount these slides a little bit differently because of that cord that runs in there. But you can see I just took a plastic bin, screwed it here. I've got a little depth gauge my brother-in-law 3D printed for me, feather board, and of course my adjustment guy right there. Again, nothing fancy, nothing incredibly unique. I'm sure you've seen something like this several times. Other jigs and bits there, push blocks. And then down here I keep my Makita router. I don't really like how this drawer is being utilized, but it's the best I've got for right now. And again, just 1/2-inch drawers. On the side over here, I've got this woodpeckers. This is how you do your tenons for cope and stick doors. It works really well once you get it set up. Again, I bought it from a local guy I used, and I just have it hanging on some hooks here. And as we work around the back, you see the dust collection and the fence. I don't know if I've mentioned this yet in the video or not, but the cabinet itself I built out of, I had a leftover sheet of 3/4-inch oak plywood, so that's what I cut up to do it. The back is 1/2-inch plywood inset into rabbets, and then the original router table came with this guy that was mounted to one of those blue Rockler dust hood things, and I just pulled it off and mounted it to a piece of plywood there. And you can see I didn't quite cut it out super cleanly there, but you know what? It works fine. And this dust collection set up with a 4-inch with a cheap little shop back hose that I cut down to go to my homemade fence. Works really well. The dust collection really works well, and it kind of pulls from where it needs to pull from. There. Now this fence is, honestly, I really like it. I had a, I think did it come with a fence? Yeah, it came with a manufactured fence that worked okay, but I wasn't a huge fan. These are 3/8 carriage bolts right here, by the way. This is actually the Polk Smart Router Fence. If you buy Ron Polk's set of plans for his smart station with the router table, he gives you the plans for this fence. It's just a shop-made fence. I didn't make it with a CNC or anything like that. But you can see it opens and closes right there. I could route some T-tracks in there. I can easily just clamp things right there if I need to. And overall, I really like this fence, and you see it's shiny just because I keep waxing it to smooth it up. Red oak probably wasn't the best thing to use there, but it honestly works really good for the purpose, and if I ended up needing to replace this, it's not that hard to replace it. And that is my little router table. If you've got questions, ask away. If you've got suggestions, offer them. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to find my SketchUp model, and I'll go ahead and put together a little cut list for this and some shop drawings and put it on my website for like $5. That way, if you're just getting started and want to make a router table, you can. Now, you do not need this Rockler top. It's very nice. If you have the means and you want one, go for it. Same thing with the lift. You can get a simple router plate or just screw your router to the bottom of a piece of plywood and go from there. Same thing with making a fence or buying one. So obviously that won't be included, but the little cabinet here, again, it's nothing unique. I just saw basically a picture that looked like this online and thought, hey, this will work pretty good for what I'm trying to do. And then I designed it to fit my needs and built it. So thanks for watching, and subscribe and all that good stuff, and we'll see you next time I feel like making a video.